Okay, so let's start off with money and time. Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Decide which of those three alternatives you would prefer. $1,000 now, $1,100 in 2 years' time, or $1,500 in 10 years' time. Okay, hands up. Those who would prefer $1,000 now. Okay, me too. Who would prefer $1,100 2 years from now? A couple of people. Anyone prefer $1,500 10 years from now? No, a few there. So most of us prefer money now. So why do we prefer money now? Anyone want to tell me? Yes?
Invest it.
We can invest it, absolutely. And at interest rates at the moment, there's a fairly good chance we'll do a lot better than getting $1,100 2 years from now. Any other reason why we like money now better? Inflation. Now that's a good thing to bring up. In all of the discussion that we're going to talk about, we're actually going to assume zero inflation. One of the problems is that people confuse inflation and just natural interest. Even if there were no inflation, it would still be better to have $1,000 now. So even if we had it $1,000 and then these other numbers were adjusted for inflation, it would still be better to have the money now. The other reason why it's better to have money now is it's more fun. And that's the point I want you to get as well, is that when we're comparing things here, all we're looking at is the financial aspect. We're not taking into account risk, because the other aspect too is if I gave you $1,000 now or promised you $1,100 in 2 years' time, which one do you trust more? Well, definitely the money now, because you get it. How do you know I'm still going to be around in 2 years' time? I'm going to remember you, whatever. So there's an element of risk in money in the future as well. Those things can be somehow factored into our decisions, but they aren't really. You have to think about how you do that. All of what we're doing in discounting is taking into account the effect of interest, and particularly compound interest. Okay, so you've got a question here. How much would you have to deposit now to have $1,100 in 2 years' time? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.